It's graduation time, and I'm curious, what do you think is the right amount for a graduation gift this year? We usually send a nice card with a crispy $50 bill, but honestly, it just seems a little light this year. So I started thinking, it costs at least $60 just to fill up the car with a tank of gas. A decent pair of sneakers is over $100. You can't even have a nice dinner out and a movie for two for under $100 anymore. So it made me wonder, have we reached the point where we need to rethink the standard or usual gifts we've been giving for years? And more importantly, how is this increase in the cost of everything, from gas to groceries to gifts, changing the way we're spending our money? And maybe now it's time to rethink our own spending strategy. So this video it's about more than the graduation gift. It's not really just about the $50. It's about the fact that the cost of everyday life is creeping up. Or maybe I should say it feels more like jumping up lately. And that brings me to something I've been thinking about a lot. It's cash flow, especially in retirement. We seem to focus on net worth in our retirement strategies. But net worth, it's more of a vanity measure. While it's important in the overall retirement plan as a way to try to measure our future success in retirement, we also use net worth as a measurement to keep up with the Joneses or compare ourselves with others. We're all drawn to YouTube videos that tell us how much net worth we should have at a certain age, or what percentage of the population we're in according to our net worth. If we're above average or the median, well, we feel pretty good. If we're below the line, then maybe not so good. I think net worth is probably used better when we die as an inheritance metric of what we leave behind. But cash flow, especially now as inflation starts or continues to rise, well, it's a survival metric. It's a personal number with lots of variables. It's hard to use for comparison, and it's oftentimes ignored in the retirement planning process. We get too focused on our net worth number, but cash flow is probably the most important measurement in retirement. Most of us in this stage of our lives have spent a lifetime building up our net worth, our home, our cars, our investments, and on paper, that number might look fine. But if your cash flow, that margin between what comes in and what goes out, well, if it doesn't have room for these constant, quiet price increases, well, that's where the danger lies. No matter your age, but especially in retirement. If you're spending every penny you make, or running at 95% capacity every month, even a small increase on gas or groceries, over time, well, it isn't just an annoyance. It's an erosion to your independence. Not to mention any emergencies or unplanned expenses that will surely come along. Now, I don't know if what we're experiencing is a short-term hurdle or if we're heading into a 70s style slog, which they call stagflation. But the thing that seems consistent is that once the prices go up, they rarely return to pre-inflation prices. There I said it, inflation. Regardless, if what we're experiencing is short-term or sticks around for a while, we must prepare ourselves for the fact that things are going to cost more. In retirement, we can't always just go out and get a job or depend on Social Security COLA increases to cover the difference, or count on our investments to continue to rise at the 6 to 8% we have experienced in the past. If you have your quarterback or financial advisor in place, as we've discussed in the past, you've probably already talked over this scenario, but it's time to go over it again. If you're still a DIYer, I suggest you do the same review of your plan. And maybe now's a good time to let someone else take a look at your plan as well. But for all of us, we need to first stress test our budget. Don't just look at what we spent last year. Look at what we're spending today. Make some cash flow projections using the increase in your cost. You could just use a percentage increase, but inflation, well, it hits everyone differently depending on your spending. So, where you can, try to use your own numbers. Second, let's prioritize liquidity. When the economy is unpredictable, cash or very liquid, stable assets isn't just money, it gives you options. Its ability to pivot without selling your long-term investments at the wrong time. This liquidity will hopefully give you some room to help ride out this economic cycle. Third, let's be proactive and early in this uncertain environment. Watch your expenses closely. Buy wisely. Take advantage of sales, but only on items you need. Maybe you think about putting off large purchases for a while if you see the money getting tight. And we need to start building up some cash reserves to help with any shortfalls in our cash flow. Where possible, reduce any variable or high interest debt. I guess what I'm trying to say is it may be time to start tightening your belt, so to speak. I know if you stuck with me this far, you may be thinking, Wes, you're not telling me anything that I don't already know. But just as with the graduation gift I talked about at the start of this video, sometimes we need a reminder to adjust our thinking, or our usual thoughts. What was appropriate and well planned in the past may not be adequate now or in the future. Inflation, well, it's sneaky, and in many cases the increases are subtle, but it is every bit as harmful to a retiree as health issues or sequence of return risk to our retirement. I know I'm starting to ramble a bit, but inflation in retirement, well, it's a force to be reckoned with. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Are you starting to feel inflation creeping into your retirement? Remember that graduation gift we talked about at the first of this video? Well, maybe a $50 bill would be perfect when accompanied with a heartfelt letter or note to the graduate. That's just a thought. Wes out.